Before we do that, we got to remind the good people that FanDuel is the #1 sportsbook in America. It is unquestioned, undeniable, and it is our favorite sportsbook as well. Right now, brand new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there is literally no better time to get in on the action than this exact minute. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and so much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL and an official partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
And by the way, Mike,
go ahead.
I was going to say FanDuel does look-ahead lines, which I love
beyond
to.
this weekend.
Browns are a 3.5-point dog this week in Seattle. Looking ahead to next week, as of today, the Browns are a touchdown favorite.
Wow.
Actually, a 7.5-point favorite at home against the Cardinals.
Ooh, that's a big spread. I just wanted to quickly remind all of our viewers, if you have a winning ticket on FanDuel this weekend, we know there's going to be a lot of betting action between college football tomorrow and then, of course, the NFL on Sunday. Screenshot it, take a picture of it, send it to us. We would love to feature your winnings on FanDuel on our show, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. So win and get your ticket mentioned on the air.
All right, guys, well, here are the 5 things you need to know, 5 stats you need to know heading into this game against the Seahawks. And before I give you the first stat, I have a question for you guys. Where do you think the 4-man pass rush unit for the Browns of Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith, Ogbo, and Dalvin Tomlinson ranks among the league's best 4-unit pass rush groups?
It ranks in what? Based on
Like,
what?
In terms of
1 to
pressure rate, in
Yeah.
terms of overall pressure rate.
You didn't say the stat.
No,
I'm asking you first. Where do you think
he
they
wants
rank
us to
before I
rank
show you
them.
the
Like,
stats?
are they second? Are
Do you
they
think
26th?
that
In
4-man
pressure rate?
is that 4-man pressure group, or that 4-man pass rush group of Myles, Zadarius, Ogbo, and Tomlinson?
Yeah.
There are 86 qualified 4-man pass rush units in the NFL with at least 15 snaps together against.
I see what you're saying. So all the different combinations.
Of all
Got
the
it.
combinations,
Yeah.
that 4, where do you think it ranks in the NFL in terms of overall pressure rate?
2.
I would
top
say
3,
very high.
Top 3 to 5. 2.
I'll say 11.
He's asking this because we're going to be surprised.
Right.
So
And Bull is actually damn near spot on.
yeah.
They rank 12th in the NFL.
He's not
Means you
asking
can
us
take
this
it.
if they're top 5.
Right.
Yeah, so
know.
I went
walked
into
right
this
into that
thinking
one.
this is so dangerous. It seems like every time these 4 in particular rush together
Yeah.
to get to the quarterback, and they do at a
Now,
very high rate.
I mean, 11's good
The
at
difference
80
thing
something.
is it's not like it's 11 out of 32.
Yeah.
11 out of 86 is in the top 15%.
Well, it's 12, but yes, it's 12 out of 86.
12 out of 86.
Their overall pressure rate, and this is what is crazy, Steve, you could take it. They're getting to the quarterback at a 46.43% pressure rate with that 4-man pass rush group.
God, who's number 1 in that?
Yeah, you ready for this?
Yeah.
In Dallas, Micah Parsons, Lawrence, Armstrong, and Dante Fowler in 19 pass rush opportunities have a 90.1 pressure rate with that 4-person unit. That is 30 points higher than everyone else.
Yeah, but that's also a pretty small sample size.
Well, it's 28 for
I know.
this Cleveland
I mean,
group
we
versus
have
19.
almost 9 more
Yeah.
with this foursome. But that's astounding. They're getting home that
90 yeah,
frequently.
it's absurd.
There could be some context missing. Maybe that's a group of 4 that only comes in on 3rd and long situations.
Yeah, well,
You know what I mean?
Ideally, you're putting your best. That's
Your
when you're
best
putting
4.
your best 4 out there.
It's essentially
But
your
what-
NASCAR
but-
package versus other teams' NASCAR
Right, but to Bull's
package.
point, what might be different in that is it depends on when in the game that happens too.
It could
you
be
know,
late in the game when you know they're
When the
passing.
sample size
Yeah.
is this small,
Yeah.
but still, 12 is, you know.
Yeah, I think that's good.
12 out of 86 is good, but my bottom line of seeing that is I think this unit has been good. 46.6% pressure, we'll take that.
I'll
It still has
definitely
a chance
take
to
that.
be even better. And against the Seattle offensive line that is playing without, potentially, they have the same situation as Jed Wills. One of their tackles has not practiced this week. He may
really?
He may not be on the field on Sunday.
Mike,
There's a chance to get a lot of pressures on Geno Smith.
Let me ask this. So the sack rate was 7%, just over 7%
Yes.
for ours. What was the sack rate for Dallas's?
It was like 17%. It wasn't actually that high.
Yeah.
There are some that have, because it's 15 or more snaps together, some have played 70 snaps together, some have played 16.
Yeah.
It's not the exact
When,
translation, but
yeah.
at the end of the day, that 4-man group for the Browns is getting to the quarterback, or at least affecting their timing half the time.
And
Which
that's
is
what
pretty
you want.
damn good.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
really
damn
good, especially without the extra rusher.
Next
okay.
up,
Good stat.
we talked about Devon Witherspoon
Yeah.
and how Bull mentioned he is the highest graded cornerback in the NFL, according to PFF. Second straight year, by the way, PFF has had a rookie cornerback as the highest graded. Sauce Gardner was next year. He's not just good. This dude's stupid good. His last 3 games against the Bengals, after being called out by DK Metcalf, his own teammate, saying he's going to shut down Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow targeted Jamar Chase 3 times in that game, allowed 1 catch for 3 yards, and had 2 pass breakups.
No, with Witherspoon in coverage.
Yes, with Witherspoon in coverage, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Against Arizona, the entire game, any receiver, the Cardinals threw his way twice. They attempted 41 pass attempts. Wow. They threw his way twice. He gave up 0 receptions.
I'm
against
glad I took Witherspoon over Amari.
Against Carolina, they threw it at him 13 times. That was the Andy Dalton game when he threw 56 passes. They threw it 13 times. He allowed 5 receptions for 31 yards. 13 targets, 5 receptions. His 7 combined interceptions and pass breakups this year, it's 3rd in the NFL. This dude's really good already, and I cannot wait to see him versus Amari Cooper. That is must-see TV in my mind.
It is going to be a good matchup. That might be the matchup of the game now that you think about it, because we know that without Amari Cooper, the Browns receivers have been pretty anemic.
Yeah.
And if they've got a shutdown corner, and it looks like that's exactly what they have here in Witherspoon, hell, some offensive coordinators just decide when corners are this good, okay, so we're not throwing to his quadrant. We're not throwing to his side of the field. We haven't seen a guy like that in a while in the league, but he seems to be trajectory going to that spot. That's crazy.
I want to see how good he is when it's 2nd and 2. Ain't no corner good at 2nd and 2. You could get run, you could get pass, you could get play action, you could get screen, you could get a lot, you could get draw. Listen, the Browns, hey, you know what's great? I love the fact that the Browns' offensive passing game is so hamstrung that I don't even have to worry about it. I don't got to rack my mind about who getting yards or whatever. They need to be running rudimentary plays and keeping this team on the field as long as possible with sustained drives. That's the way you win this game, and that's pretty much, to me, the only path to winning this game. It's time of possession, winning turnovers, and you got to punch. You got to get 7 instead of 3s.
They really need a clean turnover-free game.
Yes,
and they haven't had one all year. This
has to be clean.
On the road in that environment. You have got to hold on to the ball and not turn it over.
Where do the Browns rank in terms of turnovers? Not turnover margin, Mike, but just turnovers.
I can tell you, Steve, real quick, if we go to 63, if you go to 63, we have those stats. And Steve will pull it up. He'll take it full so we can see. They have 14 giveaways on the season, which, according to ESPN, if you sort that by most turnovers in the NFL, that would put the Browns. Also, this is bad job out of ESPN. They don't put numbers next to their rankings, so I have to count.
Terrible.
So I apologize for counting on the air. But the most giveaways in the league, well, it's easy. It's second most. That was easy to count.
I think you can click on the stat and then it
sorts it, but like
them.
It's easy when they're 31st.
Yeah.
But if they're in the
who's
middle,
the only team that's had more turnovers?
The Raiders with 15.
So they're 2nd worst in the league.
And let's face it, we've had a couple of balls that.
Well, I'm sure
everybody probably has, but
you can't be fast and loose with the ball. Like this game is going to be like the 2 things that will kill you: turnover and holding penalties on big plays.
It's amazing. Like, you think about this, the Browns are 4-2. They've gotten the worst quarterback play in the league, and they're the 2nd most turnovers, and yet they're somehow 4-2.
It's a defense.
It's a miracle.
But it wasn't last week. Last week, the defense got turnovers.
What was so impressive about last week is they knew they had to step up in other areas because they were giving up so many points. And that last drive, man,
when people say
that's it.
When people say it wasn't the defense, oh no, it was the defense.
They still got a defensive
You
score.
still got Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
You still got.
Right, but the defense didn't play great last week.
Right. It wasn't the level
they made
of
big
the
plays, but they didn't play great.
Myles made one play that took 3 points off the board for them, and another play that put 7 points on the board. That's a 10-point swing.
I hear you. You still give up 38 points to the Colts.
Right.
You know,
it's kind of like the bend but don't break.
Well, that's not bend that don't break.
No, here's what. No, not that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they gave up a lot of points, but it wasn't enough to break them. The offense, surprisingly, stood up and did enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
but how are they going to? The reason that this game is a bad matchup for me is because that was a friendly crowd that they were playing.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Browns fans in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
There's going to be nothing friendly about what happens in Seattle. No. And that's what scares me. It's going to be so hard for them to operate offensively that
I don't.
with a backup
Yeah,
quarterback
that's
and a
gonna be tricky.
really good defensive backfield for Seattle.
Myles was actually worth 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was.
You're right. You're right.
Because-
He added another touchdown in there.
Well, no, he took the 3 from them, and they got 3 off the block. Mm-hmm. So that was the
Yeah, but
6th
didn't he
win.
have another? Didn't he force 2 turnovers?
He did.
He did.
And what happened on the other one?
I don't remember. The one was
They-
in the end zone. So
That's
he
a
took
tough-
3 away, added 3 is 6. The end zone is 13. The strip sack in the end zone.
Yes,
is
ultimately they
13.
won the
It's
game
just, I'm just
because of
replaying
defense
it.
and the kicker.
I'm just
But
replaying
the
it in my
defense
head.
didn't play great.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best individual defensive performances
Miles
we've
was
seen
worth
in a long
13
time.
points by himself. He was worth 13 points.
He's going to have to do that again.
And then the kicker got 18, including extra points. So they got it was between
Yeah.
the kicker and Myles
Yeah.
Garrett. That
The,
was,
the
teams,
offense
yeah.
did just enough to win.
Speaking of the offense, and we talked about Jed Wills earlier. Well, there have been 2 unsung heroes on this offensive line the last couple weeks I want to give a shout-out to real quick. In the last 3 games, Ethan Pochich, the center, has had 92 pass blocking snaps. He's given up 0 pressures and 0 sacks.
Wow.
Dawand Jones in those same times, man, 3 games, 123 pass blocking snaps, 4 pressures, just 1 sack. So you combine those 2 together, that is 215 opportunities to allow a pressure and/or a sack. Those 2 have combined to allow 4 pressures and 1 sack and 215. They have been
That's
the unsung
nuts.
heroes on the offensive line. They deserve a little bit of kudos.
Shout
and
out
credit
Bill Callahan,
for what
too.
they've done.
Yeah. And DeWan still has some work to do in the run game, but I talked all summer about it was maturity issues, and that is what allowed him to, or what forced him to fall as far as he did. Hey, credit to him, man,
Yeah.
for putting in the work and for coming as far as he has, as fast as he has. The pass blocking obviously is there. He does it at a high level. He knows his assignments now. We talked about how much Wyatt had to sort of babysit him early on. I don't notice that nearly as much during these games anymore. He's really come a long way.
Just project him out 5 years, guys. When none of this is coming at him at warp speed anymore, where
Yeah.
he's familiar with all the blocking schemes, pass and run.
Yeah.
He gets more confidence, probably stronger. This pick might end up being one of those picks, just like we talked about Puka Nacua. Like when you can hit on a guy late in the draft,
MJ Emerson.
It can It can erase the fact that you gave up 3 number 1s.
Right.
Because he's playing like a much higher draft pick right now.
Absolutely.
And Emerson
than
as
a
well.
4th round rookie. Yeah.
So
he still has to get better in the run blocking, and maybe that's his size. I don't know, but
Right.
you would know. He's such a massive man, and it's such a different run blocking to pass blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Pass blocking, he's there.
Yeah.
Run blocking, he's got to get better.
Right.
But
By the way, in the PFF grades, out of let's see how many total guys. Out of 74 eligible tackles, he's 21st in pass blocking.
It's crazy.
That's really good.
Really good.
I mean, he's been excellent. You can't ask more than he's done as a rookie.
Nope. He's a
Especially
home run pick.
That
He's
late
been
in the
100% of what you could ask for, and then about 10,000% on top. All right, next up, we keep talking about the Seattle crowd, and there's a good reason. The Lumen Field advantage, the Quest Field as it used to be, the 12th man, is legit. This stadium, which has had a bunch of names, currently holds 2 world records for the loudest outdoor stadium at 2 different individual events.
Does it
reached
really?
137.6 decibels, which, according to Wikipedia, and I'm not an ear doctor or whatever, is like someone shooting a gun in your ear. Is the same sound at that. So this is a very loud stadium. In week 3 against Carolina, with Andy Dalton at quarterback, it's not a rookie, with Andy Dalton.
Ooh,
Carolina
why would you
had
blame Andy Dalton? It's the offensive line's fault.
Well, I'm
He's
just
saying
saying it's not
he's
a
a
rookie
veteran.
quarterback. They had 8 false starts. That's the most false starts caused in any stadium since 2011 with the Bears. The last time the Browns won in Seattle was 1989. Do you know who the quarterback was?
Bernie Kosar.
Who's coming up in our 12:30.
And by the way,
WNBC
you know who
channel.
was born in 1989?
Taylor Swift.
He's
And
right.
Bernie and Taylor were hanging out.
Her new
Does that mean-
album is being re-released. Anybody know the title of it?
1989.
1989.
Good job.
I just saw that on social media this morning.
Good job.
So
Talking
point
up on my
being,
Swifties.
it's going to be a crazy crowd, and it's going to be imperative for P.J. Walker and Kevin Stefanski to be on the same page.
Imagine
to
that,
operate
guys.
that
A
offense.
gun going off in your ear is the same decibel
Right
level?
next to your ear, yeah.
I mean,
That's according to Wikipedia. That is a Wikipedia stat. So I'm giving y'all my sources, my cited sources.
I'm glad you did because
I
they're not
wonder
always dead
where
on.
like they take the reading from, because it can't be as loud on the field as it is in the crowd.
I don't know. Maybe there's multiple meters and they average it.
When you listen, you go to some of these college stadiums.
It's
go to a
it's loud
concert.
on the field,
You
boy.
can't,
Like
you
at
can't, you
A&M,
can't hear nothing.
And A&M was one of the loudest that I've ever heard.
and I used to work on the sideline shooting the game.
I know.
Boy, you could hear
should wear earplugs.
You
Did you wear
can't-
earplugs?
we
to
do,
protect your
yeah.
ears?
Yeah, no, they give
We
them
do,
out.
yeah.
They used to give them out. I don't know if they still do.
And they shoot the cannon on the field, and that was the worst when A&M would score.
Well, it
but
scares the hell out of you. when you-
earplugs were a necessity if you're shooting on the field.
Yeah, and
LSU was the same way.
LSU at night is different.
The
Yeah,
swamp,
some of those- the swamp was like
is
that.
crazy.
You know what's loud?
Rocky Top.
Was awful, by the way. I had to leave. I was taking my son, and I left. We went a couple of years ago. He was young. We went to see monster trucks at the Q.
Oh, yeah,
loud.
those
Yeah.
things put out some noise.
So loud.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And, you know, Mikey, the crazy thing about this game,
I didn't
when
have you as a
look at
monster
it,
truck guy, by the way.
Not at all, but he
Yeah.
was interested in going, so I
we'll
took
be
him.
going on everything.
What's that, G?
When you look at the tackles that you have, that's the biggest thing is when you're trying to play a conservative game, you're trying to stay above the sticks. The things that kill you are the play came in late. They got to get the plays in quicker. You can't wait till 3, 4, 2, 1. No.
Right.
Substitutions. You can't have holding. Like if you got holding penalties or false start penalties, that's you're 2nd and 5,
dead. Yep.
and you're done. You're cooked if you get one penalty. So a lot of the crowd noise causes these penalties, and it's just difficult to really play a game where you got a quarterback who needs to stay above the sticks. That's going to be a big part of this game.
And that fan base is smart, and they know it's a rookie quarterback, and they know that they need to bring extra noise.
Not a
because-
rookie quarterback.
Well, an
Inexperienced.
inexperienced quarterback.
Yeah.
To me, he's a
Yeah,
rookie
inexperienced.
quarterback.
All right, last
Sorry.
stat here, guys. And G, you just talked about the tackles. This was interesting. We talk about Seattle having a really good pass rush, and they sacked the Giants
Yeah.
quarterbacks 11 times in that game. Right now, they rank 2nd in the NFL in sacks per game with 3.8. Now, I know you can't take a game out of the equation, but just for comparison's sake, I wanted to know what that number would be like if you took the 11 sacks out against the Giants, and it drops down to 2.4 sacks per game, which is 19th in the NFL. That number 19 is way more indicative of the pressures, the quarterback hits, and the quarterback knockdowns Seattle gets. Throughout the entire NFL, they are 21st in the league in QB hurry rate and 16th in overall pressure rate, despite ranking 2nd in total sacks or sacks per game because of that Giants game. So it is a good pass rush, and I totally
But
understand
Mike,
you can't take one
can't
game
take
out of the
11
You
equation.
sacks
took
away.
every team's
But-
best game out, then where are the rankings? I know that their
totally-
best game was far superior
I
than
totally
anybody
get
else's.
that. I'm just saying if you take
Yeah.
the one, because they had 0, 2, 3, 4, 2, and 11.
Yeah, 11 is so outrageous.
One is
Yeah,
a little
it's-
out of the
it's
So
equation.
cut it.
ridiculous.
I think a better thing would be to cut it in half or something like that. You know, where would they rank?
Well, I could do that right now. So if that cuts in half, that goes
Yeah.
11 to.
Go 5.5.
So they would average 2.7, which would be 14th in the NFL. So middle of the pack, which lines up with their pressure rate, their QB knockdown rate, and their QB hit rate. So essentially what I'm saying is they are a good pass rush. They do generate pressure. They do not generate pressure at the rate that the second team in
Yeah.
sacks per game would indicate.
Is the pressure rate that you have there including the Giants game?
It is, yes.
Okay.
You watched the Giants game. I watched
I did.
it. Most people did. It was to the point where you just knew before the play started it was going to be a sack.
Well, what's funny is
At
the
the end of
Giants
the game, they
O-line's
were
played
just-
better since then
They have.
with
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
Where were
I
they-
know.
Wasn't
Where
that the
were they
last
playing at?
Daniel Jones game?
No, Jones played one more. But,
Who was the left tackle for the Giants?
well, he's not playing anymore.
No, I know. But he was.
Yeah,
in
I've
Seattle.
erased his name from my memory.
You're smart to do so because they were showing the isolations of his one-on-one on all of the sacks, and I think his family probably had to turn the channel. That's how bad it was. It was so embarrassingly bad. There was a Steelers offensive lineman that graded out this year at 3.4.
Dan Moore, right?
Yeah. I can't imagine what was that guy's PFF
I'll look
grade
it up
that
right.
week.
I don't know. I'll look it up right now.
I mean, he gave up one after another. It reminded me of the Steelers and James Hudson from a couple of years
Yeah.
ago when they just were giving him no chip
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
He was out there on an island by himself, and they just kept running the same thing. That's what the Giants were doing against the Seahawks.
The Browns have to run play action. And I'm going to tell you, all year, you go back and watch these all 22s, the Browns have one of the worst times in the world passing off just regular stunts. So two guys will follow one guy and the other guy comes loose. They don't communicate. One guy takes a guy you thought your man had him, he comes loose. And P.J. Walker struggles consistently when they do the mug technique. The mug technique is just basically everybody's at the line of scrimmage before the snap, and at the snap, some guys
drop
come
out.
and drop out.
Yep.
So he's going to have to diagnose that, and they're going to have pressures where they're moving around and stunting with the defensive linemen.
And they're going to see that a lot.
You're going to see that every third down. And I think in this game, Kevin Stefanski can't be going 5 wide. He just can't do it. They don't have the tackles to keep up with that pressure. It's going to be hard to hear silent snap counts and different things like that. And P.J. Walker doesn't diagnose the plays quick enough to understand, okay, the pressure's coming from here, I'm going to go right where he left. He's just not able to do that at this point. So they got to find some ways to be able to throw the football and still protect a little bit.